Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of the newest releases in Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria line, Neroli Vetiver. Now, you guys know how much I love Neroli, and you know how much I love Vetiver, and you know I'm a fan of the Aqua Allegoria lineup. So I have very real, fun, and obvious critique of this scent. So if you'd like to know what I think, then keep on. I did not buy this bottle. My mom bought this bottle. Actually, when I got The World According to Arthur, it was a Selfridges purchase. She had decided she wanted to purchase this. I was excited, and I have been wearing it a lot since she got it. So I will be purchasing a bottle of this. This is fantastic, but this is my mom's bottle. But I obviously will purchase it, but this was not sent to me to review, and I always like to let you guys know where I got a bottle of perfume. Just to get the elephant out of the room, one thing Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria line is infamous for is their longevity, or their lack of longevity. This is the same, doesn't have much of any, 3 hours maybe on my skin. So I'm just gonna put that up front. If you guys have an issue with the longevity of the Aqua Allegoria lineup, this one it performs pretty much like most of the others. Every single one is that fleeting on the skin, but they're very well known for being fleeting. It's one of the main critiques of this line, and I will say on my skin, this is a fleeting scent, 2 to 3 hours, but you can reapply it. It is very linear. I do really enjoy it, and that has been something I haven't minded about the lineup from Aqua Allegoria, but it is a very valid critique and criticism, so I figured just let you guys know in the beginning. Now the notes in this fragrance, you obviously have Neroli, you obviously have Vetiver, there's also a fig accord, and you have some fresh basil in there as well. Now one of the things that I like about this fragrance is how fresh and just kind of very enlightening and invigorating and energizing it is without the added kind of super brightness and kind of citric acidity that you get with things that have like bergamots and lemons and grapefruits. And those are fantastic, and I love them, and they're great. But sometimes it's nice to get the illusion of freshness. It kind of adds this beautiful sensuality and almost like a depth without the need of a lot of notes and a lot of complexity. Sometimes working on minimalism kind of makes notes stand out in their best and brightest. And that's what this fragrance does. There's something fresh, there's something bright, there's something energizing about this fragrance, but not in a way that would be utilizing a lot of the same notes that you would see in kind of more fresh fragrances. And the Neroli and the basil really do that the best. What I like is that it gives this kind of very herbaceous, green, just beautiful kind of brightness. Now, not like a brightness like a citrus. So if you guys have ever like cooked with fresh herbs, you know, like when you cut the herbs, like you have fresh herbs and you cut the herbs. So you're cutting dill, or you're cutting cilantro, or you're cutting basil, or you're cutting parsley, and you're kind of like you get that lift of just the oils and sometimes the water from the herbs in the leaves when you cut the herbs. And I didn't say mint, because mint, just the smell of mint will kind of make your, kind of open your senses. But like herbs that you might not think would have that kind of olfactive opening of your palate. It just kind of brightens and wakes you up and is energizing in a way. Like whenever I would make spaghetti sauce, I love to put in like fresh herbs, and a lot of people do. I'm most definitely not the only one. But I just always remember one of the things with cooking spaghetti sauce is like when you're sitting over a stove and you're peeling the skin off the tomatoes and you're stewing the tomatoes and you're, making the puree, because I try to do as much from scratch as possible. The kitchen gets heavy, and the acidity and the fruitiness of the tomatoes, it makes the whole kitchen smell delicious, but there's a heaviness in the kitchen. It's a delicious heaviness, but it's a heaviness. And I just remember whenever I would cut the herbs, it would kind of cut through it and kind of wake you up a little bit. It was always a nice point of making those meals. That's what I'm talking about, that kind of bright wakefulness that you get that hits your senses when you wear this fragrance. The Neroli is beautiful. It's a deep, gorgeous floral without any sweetness. You get some nice, beautiful green hits in there with the basil, and it's just something that's very lovely on the skin. And because there's not any sweetness, it really blends itself to this really gorgeous vetiver. And whenever Guerlain really focuses on vetiver, I find that they really focus on this both dry and fresh, grassy vetiver. It's something very wearable, very easy, very approachable, and there's something about it that's very attractive, and it lends itself beautifully to more masculine, dry, complex compositions, but it can also be beautiful and brighter and more lively compositions as well, as seen in here. And when I first kind of read the notes, I was worried that either the neroli was going to overpower the vetiver, it was going to be too sparkly, it was going to be too a la Neroli Portofino, which I really enjoy, but I didn't want that. I wanted the focus to be on the beautiful neroli elements that I've seen in Aqua Allegoria lineup and the gorgeous vetivers that I know Guerlain can create in a way that is both wearable, beautiful, and also approachable. Their vetiver fragrance is one of my favorites. And I find that they do that beautifully. I like that the fig accord in here is a milky, translucent fig accord. There's a little bit of fruitiness in there, again, with the absence of sweetness, and it almost feels like a skim fig milk. So it doesn't feel much like a super lactonic, overtly creamy, kind of concreting and steamrolling over all the gorgeous, bright nuances that this has with the absence of what you would consider bright, refreshing, crisp notes. It just kind of helps everything blend well together without it losing a lot of the beautiful nuances that the fig is known for, the basil is known for, the neroli is known for, and the vetiver is known for. I like how it has a soft, kind of fruity, creamy, translucent effect over everything. Sometimes I talk about how notes will be a foundation, like sometimes patchouli and sandalwood and vanilla and amber and musks can really help notes kind of like stand on their own, like they work really well. Like when it comes into earthiness or grassiness or something being green or woody. With the fig accord in here, with that soft kind of, again, skim milkiness and the fruitiness with the absence of sweetness in this fragrance, what that does is it really helps the vetiver have a little bit more depth. It's not so grassy and dry where it almost smells a little off. I've noticed vetiver fragrances, and as a vetiver lover, as somebody who obsesses over vetiver, as one of their holy grail fragrances is considered to be one of the best vetiver fragrances ever. I love vetiver. I crave vetiver on my skin. It is one of those notes that just with the smell of it, just the composition of that note specifically, if not balanced right, if not smelling right, it can almost smell like body odor. It's grassy, it can be a little bit dry, it can have weird umami salty-like elements to it to some degree. It cannot smell like you want it to smell. Sometimes I find lavender, not quite well-balanced lavender, can do that too. So you have to be mindful of vetiver, and I wasn't worried about Guerlain's take on vetiver with this fragrance, but I wanted to see how everything would come together. I was worried maybe that the fig would be more of like a fig leaf, and then that might make it more of a fruity, bright, fizzy fragrance. And I like the idea of that, but I wanted to focus on the beautiful vetiver that I know Guerlain can do, the beautiful, wearable, approachable vetiver that Guerlain can do. And I think that they do it really beautifully in this fragrance. It balances the neroli gorgeously. It's nothing that's too intimidating. If you don't like white florals, if you're not a huge flower fan, and you want to wear something fresh, a neroli is one of those floral notes that I find to be more aromatic and has more nuances past the floral part. It's less fruity, less sweet than orange blossom. I know it's two completely different things, that'll be a completely different video, but I also find it to pair more beautifully with, I would say, more shared or masculine compositions. What I like about this scent is it doesn't smell like a woman's fragrance. It doesn't smell like a men's fragrance. It smells like a shared scent, like right in the middle. And I have to thank the absence of sweetness, the absence of brightness, and the absence of fruitiness. The brightness you get comes from the crispness of the basil and almost like the bright, uplifting, olfactive awakeness that you get from fresh herbs kind of being crushed or being cut. The neroli is beautiful and fresh. It doesn't feel like it was cut. It feels like it's on the tree. The vetiver is dry and grassy, but still fresh. And I like that the fig accord in here kind of feels like fig milk, but again, is more skim. So it's not overpowering the nuances of the neroli, the vetiver, or the basil. It could easily overpower kind of the brightness and the energizing aspects that the basil could give, but it doesn't. And what that does is it lets it have a bright, kind of beautiful, uplifting qualities to this fragrance without kind of taking over the nice balance between neroli and vetiver. It's really beautiful. It's very wearable. It's gorgeous. It's a very minimalistic fragrance. I know I'm sitting here talking a lot, but this is a fantastic, and I mean a fantastic example of a fragrance that doesn't have a myriad of notes. You know, it doesn't have like 6 top notes, 8 base notes, 4 heart notes in it. It has a very solid, very curated number of notes done in a way. And I know that accords are different, I know. But the accords, everything to kind of create this feeling of neroli, vetiver, fig, and basil, it comes together in a way that smells very modern, but also very classic. So I think it's gorgeous. If you enjoy neroli fragrances, this is worth checking out. If you enjoy vetiver fragrances, this is worth checking out. Also, if you love fig fragrances, this definitely is not fig dominant, but I do love how you can get that beautiful, soft, kind of slight fruity skim milkiness from the fig accord in here. It's really nice, and it does play really beautifully on the skin, and it does help this fragrance shine. So if you do like fig in your fragrance, this might be worth trying as well. And the basil to me works more as something that helps uplift the scent, more as a texture and less as a flavor. I've kind of talked about what I mean by that. And at the end of the day, it's a very easy wearable fragrance, and the only negative thing I have to say about it is the longevity. But if you are familiar with this house, it is not uncommon for people to have that gripe. Do I think that they should work on that? Absolutely. Does that mean that I'm the only person that will have this problem? Yes and no. There's some people that might have crazy longevity, or there's some people that might have even less. But I just wanted to let you know that this line from Guerlain is well documented to not have the best longevity. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. But it is beautiful, it is wearable, it is fresh, it does have some just gorgeous notes in here that I'm obsessed with. And I think Guerlain hit it out of the ballpark with this, and I've really been enjoying it. So that is my review of Aqua Allegoria Nerolia Vetiver from Guerlain. I believe this was released this year, 2022. I think this is the newest one. And I love it, and I will definitely be buying a bottle of this. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've had the opportunity to try this fragrance, I'd love to know what you guys think. Positive or negative, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, guys, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I will see you next time.